Another food theft has occurred on Ketil's farm, but Fox is unable to track the culprits as their footprints are mixed with others. Snake notes that the thieves have struck a few times, stealing small amounts, and suggests they be punished. Meanwhile, the news of Sverkel giving tools and food to Einar has spread. Arnheit comments that Sverkel must like them, but Einar believes it was just a way to repay a debt. Arnheit reminds him that they are slaves and no one is obligated to repay them. This leads Einar to wonder why Sverkel would be kind to them, causing Arnheit to laugh and compliment him as a good person. Einar blushes at the unexpected praise. As they chat, Ketil's wife interrupts and scolds Arnheit for wasting time instead of preparing breakfast. She reminds them that Ketil will return today and may bring guests, so they need to be ready to receive them. Einar and Thorfinn stand amidst their flourishing crops. Einar's excitement bubbles over as he realizes that in a few years, he will be able to buy his freedom. He wonders if his fellow slave, Arnheit, has a similar deal in place. Thorfinn suggests that he should ask her, but Einar feels unsure whether it is appropriate to do so. Thorfinn ponders their next steps, and Einar suggests that they pray for rain and protection from insects. Einar drops to his knees and begins to pray, inviting Thorfinn to join him. Meanwhile, Ketil returns with his son, Thorgil, who inquires about the well-being of his mother and Olmur. Ketil informs him that Olmur is eager to fight alongside Thorgil, but isn't fit for battle and should remain. Thorgil disagrees, citing King Canute's transformation as evidence that the battlefield can change a man. Snake and his men approach Ketil and Thorgil, surprised that Thorgil is still alive. Thorgil credits his survival to Snake's training. Snake discloses that he has apprehended 2 young thieves and intends to hand them over to Ketil for punishment. As they sat down for a meal at Ketil's house, Thorgil began to recount his experiences in battle, describing how some men would fight to obtain women they could later sell. He turned to Olmur and asked if he would be willing to join him in fighting in England. Olmur nodded his agreement, prompting Thorgil to give him a souvenir, a necklace made of small, dried pieces of meat. Looking at the necklace, Olmur asked if he could eat it. Thorgil confirmed that he could, but cautioned him that the pieces were actually ears and did not taste very good. Horrified, Olmur threw the necklace away and began to scream. Thorgil laughed at Olmur's reaction and taunted him for being scared. He reminded Olmur that they were the sons of Iron Fist Ketil, a legendary warrior known for his incredible strength and skill in battle. Thorgil wondered aloud how Olmur would fare in a fight if he was so easily frightened. Noticing Olmur's confusion, Thorgil went on to explain the legend of Iron Fist Ketil. He recounted how Ketil's weapon would shatter during battle due to his immense strength, yet he would continue to fight fearlessly with his bare hands. As they prepared to rest for the night, Snake asked Ketil to deal with a problem involving thieves. Ketil approached the 2 children and asked for their names. The boy introduced himself as Stura, and his younger sister as Thora. Ketil then asked if anyone could speak on their behalf, and Snake explained that their family also included a sick mother and a baby, whom he didn't bring along. When Ketil inquired about their father, Stura informed him that his name was Snorra, and he went to sell vegetables last fall but never returned. Pater interjected and informed Ketil that Snorra owed him money for the land he rented. Thorgil suggested cutting off the children's arms, but Stura pleaded for mercy, especially for his younger sister. Snake also appealed to Ketil to go easy on them. Ketil felt sad for the family's plight, but he knew he had to administer punishment. Pater proposed an alternative solution. Stura could work to compensate Ketil for what they had stolen and pay off Snorra's debt. Pater volunteered to teach Stura how to farm and turn him into a skilled worker. If he succeeded, Ketil would be fully compensated. Pater's proposal to teach Stura how to farm was welcomed by Ketil, who was relieved to find a way to compensate for the theft and the debt. He was also glad that it would prevent the family from resorting to stealing again. However, Pater suggested that a beating should also be part of the punishment. Ketil was surprised, but Thorgil thought it was appropriate. Ketil believed that working would suffice for punishment, but Snake pointed out that a more tangible penalty was needed to deter future theft. Snake took out the blade off an axe, and asked Ketil how many times he should hit the children. Ketil initially said 5, but he corrected himself and settled on 10. Stura pushed his sister away and asked to be hit 20 times to spare her. Thorgil was intrigued and offered to do the hitting, but Snake was worried he might not hold back and accidentally kill the kid. Thorgil takes a swing, and sends Stura flying with a single hit. Ketil rushes over to intervene, telling Thorgil that he will handle the beating himself. Later that night, Ketil goes to bed early with Arnheit and confesses that the rumors of his Iron Fist reputation are false. He admits to Arnheit that he is actually afraid of Thorgil, war, and violence. Arnheit reassures him that kindness is not weakness. Ketil confides in her that she is the only person he trusts enough to share these feelings with. He asks Arnheit to stay with him, as her presence illuminates his world and brings him peace. And with that, we conclude this episode.